Hello. I'm gonna try and coax my dog into the camera. Hi, Beba. You want to say hi? No? Okay. When your dog is a VIP. How is everybody? Okay, let me say hi. um, for everyone that's going to be watching this after the stream, do know that I usually put the timestamp in the description box. Sometimes right after the stream, sometimes an hour after or 2 hours after, but I do put them. Okay. So, hi, Jasmine, Gemini, Hanako Grace, Amy C, Elazar, Nadira, Alicia, Emily, I am Claudia, Amy C, Norwegian Wood, Ruth Fisher, Nadira, Amy C, Elazar, Alicia, Carla Girl, Norwegian Wood, Nikon Lady, Amy C, Hanako Grace, Sarah, Elazar, Nadira, okay, Nigma, Fire Butterfly, Leah, Share Your Love, Lady Pink, Seda, Consuelo, Fire, Abron, Lisa Park, Pia, Sylvia, Amy C, K. Anoka, Lindsay, Maritz, Juan, Jolie, Helene, Marlene, Heather Lynn, Ruth, Lorena is on Twitch. Michelle Santiago, people want to come here? Hmm? Diba? Want to say hi? Come on. Show them your new haircut. Come on. Gosh. Takes so much to get you out of your bed. Come on. Ah, please say hi. Tell them I have a new haircut. They groomed me. Sorry. Okay. I took him to the groomer yesterday and I kind of tricked him because I was going to go to my meeting, my regular meeting every Tuesday. Um, and we, so I got him into the car and he thought that we were going to go somewhere like the park or something, only for me to drop him off the groomer. And then my mom picked him up. So he wasn't happy with me yesterday. He protested. He didn't drink. He didn't eat until I got home. Michelle, Fire Butterfly, Jane, Rachel, Jono, Anne, Alex, Curie, Mandy, OT710, BTS Eden, Abby Chimmy, Brisa, Nigma Price, Just Me CDV, Sylvia NYC, Sevenum Juning, Gemini, The Best, Lydia, Seda, Lily, Carol Faye, Dodger Girl, Elizar, Fire Butterfly, Fire Butterflies on Twitch, Gemini, Elizar, Orchid, Aspen. He looks super cute. He is a cute boy. Consuelo, Lindsay, Bomac, Abron, MLB, Janoki, Consuelo, Abby Chimi, Lisa Parker, Janek, Alex, 22, Michelle Santiago, GL Series, Dodger Girl, also on Twitch, Geo, Jack, CMB Family, Bangi Luna, Dawn Marie, Fire Butterfly saying, if there's any troll tonight, please direct them to me or alert me. Abran, I have a feedback on that. Robin, Bryce, Army, Cooper, or Oraya. Okay, Shelling, Sylvia. I think I've said hi to everybody. Doll Baby, Seven Purple Pearls, Mina, MZ, Get Real, Icebox. Okay. Andy Bignat, Marilyn, Montalvo, Alex. All right. So the person who was here last time, and a lot of you I know were not happy whenever someone interrupts, because we try to maintain a good vibe in the in this live stream, right? And that has always been my goal, to be like the some sort of an escape from all the toxicity of life, or whatever, just for 2 hours we can just have fun and suspend all the problems that we have until after 2 hours, for at least 2 hours. And so I know that many of you are not happy when somebody interrupts that, because we're here because we just want to have fun. And when somebody comes in and brings in a very difficult vibe, then of course it also sort of gets in our nerves sometimes. So, but on the other hand, as I've mentioned in that live stream, I can't just block everybody that's saying not nice things, because we do still have to honor their freedom to express whatever it is that they feel, or whatever it is that they want to express, for within reason, of course. If they start however, being annoying is not really a violation of any community terms. You're just annoying. So when that happens, I would suggest everybody just keep on blocking those people. And then there's like people like Fire Butterfly, who would actually have um, the patience to actually deal with them. Now, in her case, she posted after a comment in the same live stream. She posted a comment saying that it was her, um, and she called herself a derogatory term, which I also don't like. I'm a very self-deprecating person, but that's not. I don't think people should do that. Um, in general, I think you should always think highly of yourself. If you keep on telling yourself something bad, you'll start believing in that. So she said, I'm this kind of I was that person in the live stream saying whatever. And she admitted that initially, I don't know, I guess she was saying that, um her claim is that she came in here because she wanted to sell her tickets. Like, she had some extra tickets, and she want for BTS's concert, and she wanted to sell them for a profit. So, and I guess Fire Butterfly, along with a few others, actually sort of spoke to her while we were on the live stream, and gave her some sort of like an explanation as to why you shouldn't do that, why you shouldn't sell the tickets for a profit. And I've always said, like, if the buyer wants to give you a tip, that's then by all means, I accept it. But I don't think you should impose on people that you should pay me double for this ticket or whatever. So I guess Fire Butterfly and a few others were trying to explain to her, you shouldn't do that, because this BTS, means this much to us. Like, for a lot of people, they literally were the lifeline. BTS was literally the lifeline. So, um, she realized that it wasn't the right thing to do. And she said that, okay, I'm still going to sell the tickets. I will just sell them either at cost for the same price, or I'm just going to pull the price down. So she did apologize. I'm not quite sure what, and in another, like, setting, I would have asked her first, like, why are you like, what's the deal? Like, why are you here? What are you trying to achieve? But I couldn't, because that's not the platform for such a conversation. So, I'm glad that there are some of you who actually explained it. And, um, Carla girl, are we able to donate the tickets to our platform? When can we do that? I'm almost done with. I think by tonight I'll be done with with all the refunds, and then I can get into the donation of the tickets. So yes, there are already some of you that are willing to donate the tickets that they extra tickets that they have, and we can distribute that to people, to other armies that are just down on their luck. So, and then I'll ask you one by one, like, do you want your name mentioned it or whatever? So going back to her case, yeah. So we're she. I'm not quite sure. Like, I'm not quite sure why she came on. She did admit that she was a little strong when she came on, and that she was antagonizing or something like that. Um, I'm not sure why she would have that kind of energy coming in. I couldn't ask. As I've said, it's not really the platform for that. But I guess my point would be that it does pay to talk to people, right? Because then she apologized. She realized, oh, I did the wrong thing. So it does, no matter how annoying the person is, it does, it pays to talk to people. I think having one success story kind of justifies to keep on making an effort to try and talk to people. Now there are some annoying people that will come on and there's no talking to them, and that's fine. But I'm saying if we were able to sort of talk to that one person, and hopefully that's um the kind of like attitude that the other people will she will carry on in the future in other settings. Like, don't just come into a group or approach a person with with a negative sort of negative perspective, right? Always give people the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so going back to the donation. So we're going to be doing some fundraising. Also, we're going to be accepting donations for tickets. So, um, for some of you have tickets that some of you already told me that they're willing to just accept like half of what they paid for the ticket, and then donate the other half. Like, for example, if the ticket is worth like 100, then they'll be willing to get only $50, and then the other half is their donation. And then some are just willing to give their tickets. And so I will do that tomorrow, I think, because tonight I think I'm in the last set of like refunds. So I'll be done with that, and then we can start with the donation. And then I also, at the end of this live stream, so that I don't interrupt those that are not interested, I will be showing the tickets that are still available and the people that are looking for tickets. But I'll do that at the end. Like, I'll end the live and then I'll start with that, so that those that are not interested will not don't have to bear listening to all of that. Um, okay. All right. Let's start, because there's a lot that we need to talk about. Very interesting stuff that I've found out. Why are you okay? Okay. My dog is okay. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? Okay. So I was oh, by the way, I locked out on hotel in Korea. But I'll discuss that later. Let's do this first, and then I'll talk to you about some hotels that I found in very interesting in South Korea. Okay, so I would recommend you guys to read this article. It was written by E.J. Young, and she provided like a good historical background. I'm sure that a lot of you have already read about a lot about Arirang, but she actually went through some of the contemporary historical markers in relation to Arirang. I'll go through like 5 points, and then the rest, I think you should really read the article because it's pretty good. So she said, according to her, Debak is here. Yes, Debak is here. In 1896, an American missionary, Homer Halbert, who was the first to transcribe the melody, wrote that arirang was as essential as rice to Koreans. So that was back in 1896. And then a record in Mechong Yarok, early 20th century, a history chronicle by Wang Yon, notes that King Gojong summoned entertainers to perform arirang in the palace in 1894. Okay, so those are two major things. the King Gojong actually had somebody perform arirang in the palace itself, making it like like an important entertainment element for the royalties back in the day. And then 1896 was when an American transcribed the melody into notes. Okay. And then as time goes by, several variants of the same song was composed. So there's your Johnson Arirang, Miriam Arirang, Jindo Arirang, and those serve different purposes depending on the province where they were reinterpreted. So it has no fixed meaning, which we all know by now. It has no fixed meaning. Now, in there was a largely acknowledged nationwide version, which was created and recorded in 1926, and it was directed by Na Won-gyo. And the story follows a student driven by mad torture after March 1, 1919, which was the independence movement, after killing a landlord who attempted to assault her sister. So this is the story. So what happened was that this guy, her sister was assaulted by the landlord, and he couldn't handle it, so he assaulted the landlord, of course. So he killed the landlord basically. So of course, after that he was arrested, and as he was being led over the Arirang Hill, villagers actually sang the song, and that's how it sort of symbolized national grief and longing for independence, because the landlord was allegedly not Korean. And so that was it. If you would remember, RM would constantly say that that arirang stands for longing. It represents sadness, grief, and all of those stuff that came from that story. So, although the original film has already been lost, recordings from 1930s preserve the song's sound and help standardize its melody. So the current melody that Koreans hear today and sometimes use, or at least its base, that came from that film in 1930s. Okay, so it was a very, very heavy film. And this is one of the scenes. Like, this is a scene um, from the film Arirang. So it was believed during that time, it was believed that it actually drew 150,000 people onto the theaters to watch the film. So it's not a lot now, but at that time that was a lot. And then after that, the melody itself kept on evolving, but it's always based on the same, I don't know, like beat or melody probably. And it functions now as a cultural vessel capable of holding different types of emotions. So depending on what you want to express, you can always use the arirang beat and melody. The musical Mong Yu Do Won, which started in 2025, actually performed at the National Theatre of Korea, uses three variations of arirang. So even as we speak, it is being used in their pop culture in South Korea. And then there's also a long running theater show called Hero. It started in 2009. And the song, Arirang, appears in a moment of humor. So that gives you like an idea on how varied the use of Arirang is in Korean contemporary culture. Okay. Now, so please give that a read. Now, I did go through some research because I was curious. It is really a folk song. Like, it's a national song. Arirang is a national song for South Korea. And I tried to look. Oh, now, we don't know whether it's going to be a song, a proper song by BTS? Are they going to create their own version? Or is it just the title of the album? Maybe there isn't really a song titled Arirang or Armirang or whatever. But I did some research to try and find out if there has been any other folk song from any other country that became a pop hit. So, like a contemporary, released as a modern song, and then it became a pop hit. And there have been several. One of which is, I'm sure some of you know this song, La Bamba. It is being still being played and being sang by so many people. It was a huge hit. Everyone was singing it, everyone was dancing it, including me. It's such a fun song. And it was recorded initially by Richie Valens in 1958. So it originated in Mexico, and it was a Veracruz folk song. And then eventually it became a rock and roll song, and I guess the rest is history. It became a Billboard hit. It entered top 40 and one of the earliest Latin songs that entered American pop mainstream. It was actually, I remember there's a heavy metal band, I believe, that created their own version of La Bamba. um, and then it was used or turned into a movie, a massive, massive hit. So it was really, most of the time, it is credited as the very first Latin song that actually became a huge hit in the US. Lindsay, so Fairlene, how would you explain Arirang meaning to non-army? Is love song inaccurate? No, I would say that it is. So if you want to explain it to a non-army, I think the cultural meaning is very important. So actually start with that. Say it is actually a folk song, the most enduring, most used folk song in Korean history. And you can say that as a follow up, you can say that originally, no one really knows the original meaning of the song, only that it was constantly being used by royalty as a form of entertainment. They would request singers to actually sing that song. Eventually, because of a film that became a massive hit, it became a song that expresses grief, sadness, longing for independence. And then every different provinces created in Korea created their own version of it, which could stand for anything. And then tell them that there is a theater, a stage play right now that uses it three different ways in one play, and BTS is going to reinterpret that. Or at least that's what we think. They're going to give their own interpretation of the song. That's it. But don't lose the cultural meaning of it. And pinning it down to one meaning would, I think, violate what BTS is trying to do and what the song really stands for. It kind of goes against what the song stands for. It is supposed to be um one of those songs that could mean anything. Like you can, it is not strict, it is not closed. You can use, it's not one of those things that they protect so hard that you can't use it for anything else. In fact, it's one of those elements in their culture that they want the world to adopt and create their own version. Well, one good thing that BTS is do what the one good thing that BTS is doing is that they're actually doing it first, taking it global. Okay, so I hope that's good. Okay. Now, so going back to La Bamba, it was a massive hit and often recognized as the very first folk song or sorry, very first Latin song that penetrated the pop culture, the mainstream, pop mainstream in the US. There's another one which is Scarborough Fair. I'm not very familiar with this. I guess it predates me. My father, I believe, is very familiar with Simon and Garfunkel. So the origin is actually medieval. So they said that this is a ballad from the medieval era. So and then it became folk rock. It was rearranged to become a folk rock song, and then became an international hit, and now everyone is just singing it. So as I've said, I didn't have the time to actually listen to the song. But they said, I mean, I know of Simon and Garfunkel. I know that they're very, very popular. And my father, I believe, if I remember it correctly, he listened to this band a lot. Okay, so Carla Girl said yes, Scarborough Fair is awesome. Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. I guess it predates me. Not that there are a lot of bands that a lot of bands that predate me, and I still listen to. Be- the Beatles is one, but I guess for I don't know. Like I think there are some Simon and Garfunkel songs that I actually would recognize if you play it. I would say, yeah, I know that song, but not this one. Okay, and then the other one is uh Gua- Guantamera, Guantamera, and there is a 1966 version, but the origin is it was actually a Cuban patriotic song and then became a pop, then they rearranged it and became a pop hit. So it had some global recognition. Well, not some, it had recognition. It was recognized and became a hit in Europe and also some of the Americas. They said that it wasn't really a big hit in the US, but it was in Europe and some of Americas. Okay, some of you are really familiar with this. So Guantamera, the movie The Graduate has a lot of their music. The Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Trouble. Oh, that song I know. Nadira said, I love Guantamera. See, I don't know this song. But a lot of you are very familiar with it. So that, I guess, only proves how certain element, like certain songs and certain genres and certain sound actually resonate with some people or are actually popular to some people. It isn't to me, but very, very popular among you guys. Um, it is pronounced Guantanamera. Guantanamera. Did I pronounce that correctly? I usually am very good at pronouncing Spanish or Latino words because they colonize us. Spain actually colonized the Philippines for 300 years. So a lot of their words I would actually understand without even having to study Spanish just because it's the same. Of course, a lot of their words we were able to adopt and then just spin it and make it our own. So, for example, I um ¿Cómo estás? How are you? We have our own version, ¿Kumusta? So it kind of sounds the same, but yeah, so that's one of them, ¿Cómo estás? There's a lot. Like there are in some of the workplaces as companies that I work for, there were a lot of Latinos, and sometimes they would talk to each other and I would actually catch words. Carol said, "We're older than you, Fairlane." Correct pronunciation, Lily said. Pia said, "I'm 73." Okay. My father loves listening to radio every Sunday, and Guantanamera is one of the famous old songs here in the Philippines. It's nostalgic. I'm from the Philippines. How come I don't know this? Or maybe if I hear it, I would actually recognize it. I guess is the better way of saying it. Okay. So, um, I guess I'm taking you through a walk down memory lane, huh? uh, One said, I don't know how I know so many old songs. My father must have listened to them when I was little. My father is a huge song music. He was such a music lover. That's how I know. That's how I fell in love with music as well. So, but these songs I wasn't really very familiar with. Um, Miss Fairly, if I duplicate, I'm learning my new PC. I apologize. Arirang means to my family. Arirang has carried generations through separation, war, migration, heartbreak, and hope. Direction. If you want to tag someone, type the at symbol, then start typing, and only works on computers, not on phones. Okay. So Hava Nagila is an Eastern European Jewish folk song, and I have been into several I have a lot of Jewish friends and I've been to some Jewish weddings, and I know that they're very, very big on dancing. I did ask one of my friends if they know this song, and she was like, Are you crazy? It was played in my wedding. You were there." And I was like, I did not know. So it is, they said, recognizable worldwide. It appears in mainstream pop culture, film, and commercial events. I guess it may be, as I've said, many of this song probably I would recognize if I hear them. I just don't know the title. And since I have been into so many Jewish weddings, I probably have heard of this song. And she was like, "Are you crazy?" I asked her. She was like, "Are you crazy? Of course, you we played it in our wedding many times." I was like, "Ah, okay." So I guess it is really a pop culture. It's a pop song. Now it has been a pop song. Um, this song is played at every Jewish function. See, I probably have heard of it. I mean, I've attended so many Jewish weddings. So, um, Carla girl, I'm telling you, if you just Google these songs, you will be shocked that you do know them. Probably, I probably know these songs. Okay, you want to go down, baby, or you just want to stay there? Okay. All right. So, and then of course, this one I know, The Lion Sleeps Tonight, which was adopted by one of my favorite Disney animation, which is The Lion King. Um, it was remixed for The Lion King. And this has a very, very interesting story. It was originally written by Solomon Linda as Mbube. That is the title, and then but the origin of it was a Zulu folk style composition back in 1939, and then it was adapted by an American producer into Wimoe, and later The Lion Sleeps Tonight. It hit number 1 in Billboard back in 1961, later revived globally through Disney's The Lion King. Okay, do you want to go down, baby? Okay, say bye bye, say bye bye. Are you not going to say anything? Good night. They're saying good night to you. They said you're cute. They find you cute. Bye bye. Tell them see you in Vegas. I will see you in Vegas. I'm gonna be in Vegas. We're gonna be exploring the BTS city together. Uh-huh. Except for the actual concert, which I might be able to because I'm trying to get him um a support ID because he's very attuned with my mom. Okay. Say bye bye. He it was amazing. I don't know if I told you this story. My mom was having a nightmare. I did not know, and he just jumped out of bed and started scratching my mom's door. And so I was like, "What's wrong with this dog?" But if at all, I've sort of learned how to trust this instinct. So I opened my mom's door, and she was having a nightmare. And I can't begin. I don't know what would have happened had he not heard if he didn't hear my mom. So so I woke up my mom. So okay, so everything's okay. But he refused to leave my mom's side. And then according to my mom, he was just there like the entire night. And now I kind of trust it when he wants to stay by my mom's side. I just kind of trust it. So I would just let him sleep in my mom's bedroom. But yeah, but he's getting like more attuned with my mom, more and more. So I'm gonna try and get him like um a support a support dog. So I might be able to bring him to the concert. Let's see. Because I think I need to go. There's like whatever, like medical tests and stuff. Debak Travels, thank you, Tehil. Thank you. Thank you so much. My mom was joking, like he needs to pay for his hotel. Okay, so going back, so The Lion Sleeps Tonight hit number 1 when it was revived by Disney for The Lion King. It became such a huge hit. But the problem was that the commercial success of all of these folk songs, by and large, the beneficiary are Western publishers. They're not the original composers. They are um it's the distributors, whoever distribute them here in the US. The contract that this composers and singers would sign turns over the rights to American publishers, Western publishers. And so a lot of these hits, the main beneficiary would actually be American labels, US labels. So that's like the tragedy of it. Now, as so most folk songs that became a hit, it was heavily rearranged. That's one. Um, they would take certain elements of the original folk song and then rearrange that. Or in some cases, they would take only a small portion of it and then slap it in a modern song. Also, a lot of it are very, very detached from the original historical context. So that Cuban song, for example, it was a patriotic song, but when it was adopted for mainstream pop release, they lost the patriotism of the song. So, and then the other thing is that most of the time, if not 100% of the time, the monetization happens on the Western side. So the beneficiary of the money that comes in would be the US labels. And then most of the time, especially during the early times, the original owners of the song, the ones that composed it, would actually lose 100% of their ownership of the song. So most they would have the recognition of it, meaning their name will still be there. They will be credited. They continue to be credited, but they don't get any kind of residual from it. And that is all because of the initial contract that they signed. Western labels will try to get rights over that song. So, in rare cases, when a traditional song enters the modern global commercial pop market, um, they usually lose any rights over it, as I've said. Okay, so that's the nuance. Now, this is the usual pattern. There's a folk song, there's an adaptation, there's commercial standardization, and then global recognition. That's the pattern. You'll take a folk song, someone will adopt it, and then it will be standardized globally so that it becomes palatable to the West. And then you'll get global recognition. One perfect example would be The Lion King, but often with IP control shifting away from the original communities. Because when you rewrite a song, and especially if you lose like a large portion of it, then it gives the new version all the rights or at least justification to actually own it basically. So that's the historical precedent. That's usually what happens. For example, in La Bamba, when Richie Valens recorded La Bamba in 1958, the song moved into American rock and roll through a commercial system that's centered in the US. So the original melody from Mexico was kind of retained, but the publishing and the distribution and the monetization flowed through US industries. So um it's not, the IP did not stay in Mexico. It did not stay with Richie Valens. Although he is historically credited as the guy who modernized the song, the folk song. And then The Lion Sleeps Tonight, it was originally written by Solomon Linda. And this is actually one of the most, I'd say, saddest stories when it comes to IP. His original adaptation of the song Bube was later adopted into Wimoe, but then it became a global pop hit with The Lion Sleeps Tonight. And as I've said, because they redid the song, they kind of redid the song. So the commercial success largely benefited the Western publishers because when they rewrote the song, the IP, the copyright transferred to the one who rewrote the song. Okay, so there's very limited compensation that goes into the original writer. So so that's the story. In 1961, it was rewritten to The Lion Sleeps Tonight for The Lion King. Now, allegedly, Solomon Linda, the one who originally rewrote Bube, um, died in 1962 in poverty. And she has this massive hit on on his hand. It's not a hit, it's a he. He had this massive hit on his hand and did not benefit from it. But in early 2000s, there was an investigative reporter by the name of Rian Mallon who reignited attention to the music. So he researched what happened to the original composer and learned that he died in poverty and that they were not benefiting from this, and to think that Lion King still is earning for Disney. So a lawsuit was filed in 2004 by the heirs of Linda, but was instrumental in that lawsuit. He was actually the one who kind of told the heirs, you have a chance, you have a fighting chance. You may not have 100% guarantee that you're going to win, but you have a fighting chance. And if you have the fortitude for it, fight for it in court. So the case argued that the original rights transfers was exploitation and that Linda's family was entitled to royalties from derivatives of the work because it continues to earn money. There are still stage plays. It's still being played in many streaming platforms. So that was a clear example on how many of the folk songs get adopted to modern era, and then the original owners of that folk song don't actually benefit. La Bamba and The Lion Sleeps Tonight were essentially extracted from folk tradition. So same, they sort of suffered the same fate. Now, what BTS might be able to pull, and if it happens, they might be the first one to actually pull this, is that they could reinterpret their own folk song and bring it to global dominance. So if they manage, because we're not sure, right? We don't even have a track list. We don't know what kind of songs are going to be in it. So we don't know if Arirang is just really the title of the album or if it's actually one of the songs. We don't know. But if they, for example, in any shape or form, bring the folk song into and make it into a global hit, they might actually be the first one, the first act in history that will manage to take a folk song of their own country without losing the cultural significance of the song, make it into a contemporary pop hit. They'll be the first one to do it. So let's see what's going to happen. The problem is that it is all expectations. These are all assumptions because we have absolutely no idea what they actually plan to do. But if they pull it off, it might actually start a trend and also open up possibilities to a lot of these singers that are hinging or carrying their own cultural legacy. Like for example, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, even UAE, a lot of Asian countries, a lot of like European countries, they have their own folk sound. And a lot of those they actually sound great. Like if you go to even Africa, for they have a lot of beats, they have a lot of melodies that are actually really cool. They sound cool. Now, if BTS manages, if they manage to actually take this folk song without losing the cultural weight of the song, turn it into a global pop hit, they're going to establish a template that other acts may follow. They'll be able to say, hey, it's possible that I will bring my own ethnic sound, cultural with or any kind of like folk song coming from my own country, reinterpret it without losing the cultural significance and the market. There is a market for it. And then I can turn it into a global pop hit. So let's see if they will be able to do that. Agree. African beats sound amazing. I absolutely, absolutely. So I used to play basic drums. Basic. I'm not like an advanced drum player. I used to play basic drums. So I kind of love percussions and bass, and the African beats, they're actually heavy on it. Actually, a lot of ethnic sounds, they're heavy on percussion, primarily because in the ancient times, one of the easy ways for you to create different sounds would be by hitting something. So your percussion is the first one that you gravitate towards. Um, La Bamba, so just to expound on it a little, La Bamba succeeded partly because it was integrated into the American rock narrative. The Lion Sleeps Tonight was absorbed into the West by pushing it into a movie. BTS, by contrast, could operate from domestic power base. So they still belong to a Korean company. Their infrastructure is Korean and their decision making remains Korean. So and they are not in this, it seems that in this album, they are not losing the cultural weight of Arirang. They're actually promoting it. So the core structural difference is that if BTS, if they execute everything and it becomes a global hit and the IP remains in their under their control, it might actually be the first ever in the history of global pop hit that a folk song will not lose the cultural weight and will still become a pop hit, and the IP gets retained by the owner of the folk song. Okay, do you have questions before I move on to the next topic? Much better. You can adjust the screen size too for my older grandkids. Okay. Um, Bye, Jazzy. Are you Karen Carpenter, my favorite drummer? No. I just know the basic. When we were kids, I think in the Philippines, that was one of the like a dominant, I would say, the dominant sound was like pop rock at that time. And so my family is very artistically inclined, and some of my cousins they really are very good singers. I'm not a very good singer. I'm not remotely good, not even in the same zip code, or not even in the same time time code. I don't know what do you call that, time zone as being good. But I do play the guitar a little bit. I haven't played in a long time. I play the guitar a little bit and then the drums. My uncle was like the one who was indulging the he was the youngest brother of of my dad, and he would indulge us because he's also a his prodigy. My dad and him can actually listen to a song and play it in the guitar without knowing because they both don't know how to read the musical notes, but he would listen. My uncle would listen once and he can play it. My dad will take him about one or two or twice twice or thrice of listening before he actually manages to play it in the guitar. But both of them can. That is the point. I don't have that kind of genius, but he told me, like, because I started he taught me. I don't quite I can't remember who taught me the basic, because there's a basic beat in a drum, and the 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, that's your basic. If you know the basics, you can kind of like play probably 90% of all songs. So I can't remember who taught me the basics, and he just told me, like, oh, you have it, like you have the ear for a drummer. I'm like, ah, okay. I don't know. I guess you know what you're talking about. But okay. um where is the beef? I'm so confused. I'm able to invite BTS to a private concert. Oh yeah, okay. They launched a new album, gave us nothing, but we bought everything. Only BTS could do this. I told a non-army about this release, and she said major flex. Okay. Um, I don't believe you. We need the demonstration. Oh my god, I can't remember. I didn't play drums for long because I have um I just mostly guitar that I play, and it's because it's loud. A drum is loud, so a drum set is loud. So I never really, I didn't play it for a long time. I played it for like probably like 2 years, and only when there's nobody to play, like when there's no drummer inside, they would call me and like, hey, can you do this for us just until the drummer arrives? And I'm like, sure. Um, and nothing complicated. Like I'm not in no. I'm probably like I know the basics. I guess that's the best way to describe it. And if a drummer who has like 2 years of experience confronts me, I'll probably just fold. Like, okay, I can see without ever having to do it. Um, Sound buffers, or it is a sound buffer. Yeah, it's a sound buffer. It is used as a sound buffer. Yes. Okay. Are those the all right? Yes, I do have a question, but regarding YouTube cutting BTS views. You do have a question, but regarding BTS views. Um, the tricky part about YouTube is that they constantly change their algorithm, and it drives everybody crazy, even creators. Like you will have a month where you would think, so after they update the algorithm, right, you will have a month where you think, oh, okay, I got it, I know what to do now. Okay, I've got it. Like, I'm gonna get my views back, I'm gonna get my gains back. And then after 3 months, they change it again. And so your entire strategy is out the window again. So they constantly do these updates and they don't always get it right. They have had some updates. It's just like absolutely BS. Like, why did you even do this that kind of update? And this updates, we actually, even as creators, we don't know exactly what it is that they're doing. So they would constantly say this is to, to mitigate like bots, make sure that only real content gets actual views. They don't like bot behavior, but we don't know exactly what they're doing. And most of the time, it does actually affect people's views. And it's not just BTS, it's everybody. So if you would notice, it's not just BTS who's kind of not getting the streams that they used to get. It's just, when was the last time someone actually crossed like 90 million views in the first 24 hours, right? So that's kind of the tricky thing about them. You don't know, because they're so tight-lipped about it. And they don't have to, because they're a private company. So well, they're a corporation, but um okay. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So, as you know, there is this. I actually published a video this morning about this, but the National Assembly asked BTS to, well, not BTS, but Big Hit, why they turned over the um the oh, wait, sorry. Before that, let's go to this first. Let's continue the GWANGHWAMUN and the ARIRANG. So I think one of the brilliant things that BTS is actually doing is that they're making their promotions consistent with the the core of ARIRANG. So they want to keep the focus on the cultural weight rather than on them. Does that make sense? So it's not, they're trying to keep our focus on their culture rather than on them only. So for example, when they did Gwangwamun, in the announcement of Gwangwamun, they did not provide any kind of explanation. BTS didn't do a video, they didn't do an interview explaining why they're doing their comeback in Gwangwamun. What happened was that many reporters and journalists theorized as to why they are doing it. And then and then Big Hit just confirmed that they are doing it because of those reasons, primarily to reaffirm the identity of BTS. So the way that they are promoting it is an effort to keep our attention onto their culture, because if they come out and try to explain everything right away, most likely fans will be talking about them rather than the cultural significance of Arirang and Gwangwamun. So I think that in itself is kind of a touch of a genius in terms of marketing. They're using their name really to amplify the message of their culture, the to amplify their culture rather than just themselves. Okay. Now, another issue that came about is this article in Media US. And the article claims that the National Assembly, including via the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, asked HYBE to explain why they turned over the distribution rights to Netflix instead of like YouTube, or probably their own streaming platform, which they call the Fast. Okay. Free ad supported TV is what it stands for. Okay. So this is what the article is about. Um, and then this article explains that fa- um, free ad supported TV is a joint effort of different companies like CJENM, and it's a streaming platform, content streaming platform, and their goal is to compete with the likes of Netflix, Hulu, and of course YouTube. Okay. Um, Now, the one I've partially discussed in my video this morning, but there is some more information that I'm going to be sharing. I think so. A lot of armies were very, very upset about it. Like, why are you even questioning um, why they're going for Netflix instead of other platforms? Number one, YouTube is not a Korean company. Number two, limiting it to one platform will also limit who can see it because only those that are subscribed to that platform will see it. As opposed to Netflix, it's widely used and they have more capacity to support simultaneous viewing of one content. That's one. And as I've said in my video, the second, and for me, the bigger issue is it's a private business. Big Hit is a private company, and I do not ever, ever agree with at any time when a government tries to meddle into a business. I think a private business will thrive, a more free market will thrive when it's free of any kind of control by the government. I'm not saying that a private business can just do whatever it is that they want. Of course, within reason, they cannot violate laws, but controlling them, telling them what to do is just suicide. It's economic suicide. So I felt very, very uncomfortable with even the act of inquiring why is very uncomfortable because they do not need to write to Hybe and try and intimidate them. That's how I saw it, to know the reason why they went for Netflix. The whole world knew. Fans who is on their fifth grade knows, understands why they're going for Netflix. Why do you have to write? I felt like the only reason is that you're intimidating the company, and I do not agree with that. The government should stay out of private businesses. Okay, within reason. All right. Now, the other thing is that Netflix has been appropriating Korean culture and culture of many other countries for a decade now. And I don't understand why they are suddenly so concerned what Netflix is doing right now. And again, I'm emphasizing it's not just Korea. Netflix is doing it in any country. Every country that they go to and plant a seed, that Netflix remains 100% owned by Netflix Inc., which is headquartered in the US. So they have total control over everything, the production, and of course, they have control. They benefit from it financially. So these are some of the shows that Netflix actually run. So they finance, they picked it up basically. They finance the production and the IP belongs to them. And some of them are some of the biggest hits we've ever had, including Crash Landing on You. Usually what Netflix will do is, yeah, we will produce it in your own country because then you have the authenticity of the milieu, of the environment. But it's Netflix who owns the rights. As big of a hit as Crash Landing on You, that is owned by Netflix. They never said a word. And it has been happening since 2016 because Netflix arrived in South Korea in 2016. One of the biggest hits that is actually owned by Netflix is Squid Games. It earned Netflix a value of 900 million. It's not gross revenue, but total value of 900 million. And the director himself said he does not get residuals, the director, and he also said that he does not own the right to his own creation because this is his brainchild. He was the one who thought of this concept. No one was picking it up. For years he was pitching it to different companies in South Korea. No one was paying him any attention. He pitched it to Netflix and Netflix said, okay, we will finance it, we will finance the production, but we will own the rights to it. We will pay you a good amount for it, but we will own the IP. That is why the director actually said he's not earning residuals. Okay. So all the variations and future adaptations of Squid Games, Netflix will benefit. Now, that model that the director talked about, that he didn't own any of he's not getting any kind of residual. That is the same reason SAG-AFTRA went on strike. It's because a lot of these actors and production people and showrunners aren't getting any kind of residuals from Netflix. And Netflix is saying, well, the margin is not a lot, blah, blah, blah. So Squid Game, according to many insiders, is that got earned Netflix almost 1 billion. It's 900 million, almost 1 billion but the creator is getting almost nothing. Okay, let's clear this out because this is also going to highlight the genius behind the strategy of BTS and Big Hit. That instead of being supported and appreciated by South Korean government, they're trying to hamper the growth and the business itself. Okay, but anyway, let's understand what happened with Squid Games. Okay, the director was given an upfront payment. So it's not that he did not earn, it's just that he isn't earning anymore. But those are two different things. He's just saying, I'm not getting any residuals, but he didn't say that I wasn't paid for it. According to Netflix, he was paid a very good amount. And they didn't hold back in terms of the production. In fact, when he renewed for a second season, he actually negotiated for a higher rate. And Netflix, of course, and this is the right decision, they didn't want to get another director because they knew only him will give the second season and the third season justice. Okay, so they paid him and they paid him a good amount, but he's not getting any residuals anymore because Netflix said we need to recuperate all the expenses and hit a certain mark before we give anybody any kind of residual. We haven't gotten there. It is not to say that it's not earning, it's just that they haven't reached a mark, and that mark was signed off by the director and the creator himself. Okay, so he was paid a high level showrunner fee, but he does not own the franchise. The IP goes to Netflix, which is owned and controlled by the US company Netflix Inc. Now, what's a showrunner? A showrunner is basically the boss, the head of the production. He's an individual who has the primary creative control and management of a TV show. Nothing gets done without the approval of the showrunner. And this director actually became the showrunner of Squid Game. So he was paid a good amount. But with Netflix and all other streaming platforms, you do not get paid the residual until the company who financed the production and owns the IP gets their money back. Okay. They might still, but it's going to take some time. So these are just some of the articles talking about how the creator of Squid Games did not supposedly didn't earn anything or earn very little. It's um it's a misinformation. He earned a lot. He's just not simply earning from residuals. Netflix also the cost, the gross profit that they're talking about, 900 million, is actually impact value, not gross money, not gross profit. So Netflix internally estimated that Squid Games generated close to 900 million in impact value. So that means they're also computing the value of the trends, for example, social media trends, the industry itself, where there's a lot of other sub economy that comes out of a hit series. For example, there are a lot of people that would create the merch, like their own merch based on inspired by Netflix, even by Squid Games, even though it is not licensed by Squid Games, they are computing that. So even the intangible profit, they're computing into it. So that's where the 900 million actually came from. Okay. The production budget, however, is 21 million. So at this time, probably right after season one, they already started earning from the franchise. So it also includes subscriber acquisition, subscriber retention, and engagement value. So even the intangible ones are included in the 900 million computation. Now, because Netflix financed the series as a Netflix original, they retain the rights, they retain the any kind of income from any future sequels, spin-offs, merchandising, licensing, adaptations that goes into Netflix. And they know this. Korea knows this. The National Assembly knows this. So it's not true that he actually earned nothing. He just isn't earning from the residuals, but he earned a lot. In fact, as I've said in the season two, when he negotiated for season two, he actually bumped up his price more than 300%. And Netflix agreed. Okay. So, aside from his income tax and the production being done in Korea, because it was actually shot in Korea, South Korea is not earning from Squid Games. And that is the same case with K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop Demon Hunters, in fact, is a little worse in terms of the money that it's bringing to Korea, because almost all the Koreans that participated in the movie, almost all of the Koreans that participated in the movie, including the director and the creator of the show, they are half Koreans, half something else. So half Canadians, half Americans. EJ is half American, half Korean. Maggie Kang, the director, is half Canadian, half Korean. But both of them are actually American and Canadian citizens. So a lot of their earnings, it's going to their home country. And then it was produced by Sony and then distributed by Netflix. So the ones that are earning are not South Koreans. I understand that they are panicking. I understand that. But it is not it's not an excuse to hamper the growth of someone else just because you're traumatized by what the others did. And then the other thing is, as I've said, aside from Squid Games, aside from K-pop Demon Hunters, Netflix has been doing this to Korea for more than a decade. So why now? Why why BTS? Why concentrate on the only company and the only group that actually managed to retain their IP? Why are you hyper focusing on them? Why don't you hyper focus on all of these productions that are happening, that are still happening, that Netflix is still doing in South Korea? They don't get to retain their IP. BTS gets to retain their IP. The only rights that Netflix will have is the actual distribution of the live show and the documentary. But everything else is controlled by BTS and Hype, and Big Hit. So why them? Why not all these other companies and all these other productions that are happening? So that is why I thought this is not actual. You know me, I always like giving the benefit, other people the benefit of the doubt. And I was actually probably the only creator who said no, BTS and Big Hit should actually shoulder the expense of the live show, because this is a historical landmark. This is a public property maintained by the taxes being paid by Koreans. So if they're going to do something there that is not supposed to be done, or I mean it's not a regular thing that goes in there, they should pay. Probably I'm probably the only creator who said that. I think all the creators are like, they shouldn't pay because South Korea is going to benefit." But I understand it's a historical landmark. I always put it because I have two countries, right? This the US and the Philippines, and I love both. But I'm going back to the Philippines and I see a historical landmark and there's a modern event there. My straight up thinking is that you better be paying for this, and you better be ensuring that the historical landmark will not be touched. So so I advocated for that. I support that Big Hit and BTS should pay for it. But this act of questioning, why are you giving it to Netflix when there are so many other productions happening where it is utilizing Korean culture, Korean artistry, but the IP gets retained by Netflix, they're not getting any kind of attention. The National Assembly is not questioning them. It's pure BS. Like this is not concerned about your own culture, and it's not concerned over appropriation. You just want something from BTS. I don't know what it is, but you want something from them. And you're trying to intimidate the company because you have absolutely no reason to write them. It is not rocket science to understand why they went for Netflix, and you're going to write them. I think it's intimidation. But as I've said in the video, as infuriating as it is, stay focused on BTS. That's the only thing that we can do. The other thing is that, this they are Korean, they're Koreans. I mean the group, they are Koreans, and they are um they love their country. I'm sure that it also hurts when you say something bad about their country. So okay. They have questions. It's so toxic and corrupt. It is money, and not from BTS but from Netflix. The seven big families are behind the extortion. And they didn't choose Netflix because they just want to, right? Only Netflix is the one of the companies who has the capacity to do big events, worldwide live streaming. That is what they responded. So Hybe said that there are several reasons they went for Netflix. One is, of course, the subscription and the technology behind it. So right now, Netflix has about 325 million subscribers, and Netflix said that technically, if those 325 million simultaneously open their Netflix to watch one show simultaneously, they said they have the technology to support it. They crash, but whatever. Okay. The other thing is that they were actually willing to finance the production and also pitch in the marketing while giving BTS and Big Hit absolute creative control over the actual event. And that is not unprecedented. Even as I've mentioned to you, many of the other live shows that they've done, that's usually how they do business. We will allow you creative control and we will finance the marketing and some of the production. But they do retain exclusive distribution rights for certain period of years. So, for example, in the last one, the biggest one, arguably the biggest one that they've had was the fight of Jake Paul versus Tyson. So it was the MVP, the company of Jake Paul, that put that together. They didn't really meddle in whatever, but they shouldered the prize money. And so 40 million went to Jake Paul and 20 went to Tyson. So that's how they do business. So, as per the explanation of Big Hit, that's what attracted them to Netflix. Netflix was going to finance the actual production, and I'm going to present to you how much it's going to cost them just on security. So Netflix is the one who's actually going to be paying the directors. So they're paying for all of that. And of course, they are doing the marketing, and we're actually already seeing that. I'll explain that in a bit as well. Um, and that while they maintain the rights, if they went for example for YouTube, unless usually YouTube will just provide the platform, but all the other expenses they will take on. So, okay, Asia, it's so obvious that SK government wants to control Hybe and BTS, like trying to hold the military enlistment exemption over their heads to be able to use BTS. Actually, that's one of the reasons I really am very thankful that BTS just chose to um, enlist. It was being used as a like a come on for BTS. It was as a bait for BTS that they get exemption, but I knew that if they took it, then they will be forever be under the control of Korean government. So I'm just happy that they decided, no, we're just going to serve. All of us are going to serve normal. Not going to take any kind of exemption, because they would have done that. And it's a little it's not little, it's a lot frustrating, but um politicians are conniving but are not as smart as they think they are. There is no SKOTT with better capacity than Netflix. They claim that Fast, the free ad supported TV, is actually has the same technical capacity as Netflix, and they're saying at least this female professor from a female, like a women's only university, stated that Irwan University. Irwan University, she that's where she teaches. She claimed that BTS would have pulled a lot of subscribers into free ad supported TV. So he said that that is why the government should have actually trafficked it. They should have come forward before that and required Big Hit to put the 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 streaming onto Fast instead of Netflix, because it would have invited more users into the platform. And she's claiming that it has the same technical capacity as Netflix. Now, let's just put this into perspective. The internet, and in terms of technology itself, South Korea is actually way ahead of the US. So, and that is actually one of the major frustrations of personalities like Bill Gates, Elon Musk. We have been overtaken by a lot of Asian countries when it comes to technology. So, it's not her claim that it has the same technical capacity as Netflix. It's not impossible. I don't know how probable it is, but it is not impossible considering they have the fastest internet in the world. They're number one. Um, so much so that you can actually go under the like whatever, like in a subway or whatever under the ground, and you'll still have internet access. It's amazing. So, but but and even but my point is that even if it is so, why are you going to require a private company to distribute their products a certain way? You have absolutely you have no right to do that. It is a market economy. South Korea is a marketed economy, and I absolutely do not agree that the government should meddle in private business. Of course, within reason. I keep on saying that within reason, but generally, the government should stay out of private businesses. That is just how things work. You allow private companies to thrive and grow and evolve on its own. The moment the government meddles, that's not market economy. So, um, okay, next. Hi, Rana. Could the interest have been formalized just to help waylay some of the gossip against Hybe? Um, what do you mean? Like, should they have controlled how the communication was going to flow? Do you think SK attacking Hybe for over 10 years is why a local business like Fast was not considered? No, I don't think so. I think it was more a business decision. If you look at how Hybe is now promoting, or Big Hit is now doing the promotions for BTS, you would actually kind of also get an idea as to where they are headed in the future. And it's really global. The way that they are promoting it, they really are diverting from the usual K pop practice, which they help popularize, by the way. But they really are going astray. They're going against it. They're going against it. And their target is really to go global. And when I say global, it's really global. It's not just the US. They're going Africa, they're going India. So I think the vision is to partner with the company that has the capacity that will help them achieve that range that they're looking for. So I don't think it was because, oh, this company, like Fast is actually a company owned by companies that are trying to that are trying to attack us or whatever. I don't think that was a consideration, at least not as much. I think the biggest consideration is that who's going to give us the biggest advantage when it comes to streaming, and it's Netflix. Okay. Next, I think BTS are showing SK. This is how you keep the dollars while still putting SK on display. Yeah, and I mean, South Korea is so unprepared for this return, for this comeback. They had 4 years. They had 4 years. Nadira, 10. Thank you, Nadira. These are heavy topics. Fairy Lane, you are gonna need some snacks. Sending army hugs to all. Thank you. So one of the other things is that they had the opportunity. 4 years, almost 4 years, BTS was gone out of serving their country in the military. They had 4 years to get this done. They had plans and the budget to do a stadium. I believe it was Ilsan, but they had the money set aside to do a stadium in Ilsan, knowing 5 years ago that BTS is slowly outgrowing. Actually, no. At that time, BTS already outgrew South Korea. That the demand, they don't have the place to accommodate the demand for South Korea for BTS. Because remember, the one thing that's unique with BTS is that they draw in people into South Korea, like by the hundreds of thousands. It's not like 10,000 people watching the concert. It's like hundreds of thousands converging into South Korea. Can can you wrap your hand around the fact that in their 10th anniversary they weren't even there, and 400,000 people showed up in Seoul to celebrate it? What kind of lunacy is that? They knew that 5 years ago. They knew that 4 years ago, and they took steps to actually accommodate those needs. They made plans to start the stadium in Ilsan. Fast forward 2026, where is the stadium? And now BTS is stuck in freaking Goyang simply because they don't have another stadium outside of the Olympic Stadium. So this all of this, it's their shortcoming, because the government's role is supposed to give the BTS and any artist for that matter the resources and the facilities so that they could progress their creation. This is their shortcoming. It's a structural error. But instead of trying to make up for it, they're trying to hamper the growth of BTS. It's like, oh, we weren't able to provide you with the resources. Why don't you just not grow? Like, what kind of logic is that? They don't even have enough paper in the country. And this is not a joke. They don't even have enough paper in the country to print all the things that BTS is demanding to print. Not even BTS, but like the fans, other businesses that is related, which has demand or fulfilling the demands related to this comeback, tickets, books, whatever. They don't have enough. Imagine that, a country running out of freaking paper. That's how unprepared they were for this comeback. But instead of looking for ways on how to provide or give BTS the opportunity to look for an alternative, sorry, to help BTS look for an alternative, they're hampering them. They're like, oh, no, sorry, no stadium. Sorry, no streaming platform. Sorry, no resources. Why don't you just not grow? Like what? It's absolutely insane that a country will think of this. Like a government will think of this. Um, okay, so it's I said that in terms you have to observe how BTS is actually doing their promotions right now. So in IG, allegedly, according to one fan, if you go to profile note and if you add the word love, it turns red and a cupid appears when you tap on it. It's so cute. Now it could be just a part of the coming Valentine's season. It could be that, or it could be BTS working with Instagram, working with Spotify, utilizing the coming event, global event, or at least an event for many countries, the Valentine's season, to actually use that as a promotion for ARIRANG. Because that's possible. They probably sat down and say, hey, what kind of marketing tactics can we use? Well, one of the ways is to utilize the coming season, because Valentine's is not something that you have to push hard to people because it's already happening yearly. It's a global event. I don't know how it started, but it's a global event. So, one possibility is that they said, okay, we can use that to prepare and to push or to promote Arirang. Okay. The paper shortage makes me wonder if there will be other shortages when fans descend in SK in March and June, and the impact it will have on the general public. I don't know. But I will share some stuff with you as I was trying to make my arrangement for my hotel and stuff. Okay, so um the track list in Spotify, which is all about love, and it has different forms of love: self-love, fandom love, romantic love, healing love, unrequited love, nostalgic love, already garnered 600 no sorry 300,000 streams. So this playlist garnered 600,000 streams, which is pretty amazing considering it's 6 minutes of nothing. If you play it, it's like for the entire 6 minutes, it's silence. So the idea is that there were 300,000 people who played it at least long enough for the stream to actually count. So 6 minutes, you're gonna play. I haven't. I didn't. I don't have to because people told me it's actually 6 minutes of silence. But it gives you an idea on how different they are promoting, because they're utilizing platforms and resources that are already in our disposal. They're not creating their own. Instead of using the usual promo, like for example, they used to do promo calendars, right? They would do promo calendars with they would release the promo schedule, they would have teasers, they would have photo teasers and photo concept and whatever. They're, at least for now, they're not doing any of it. It's all sad. We don't even know what the cover looks like. It could be just white for all I don't know. It could be just white. But instead of going for the usual, they're going to the different platforms that's already on our disposal, that's already on our phones and reaching us through that. And it's global. So that I don't know. It could be an influence of Netflix. Or it could be a Universal Studio, Universal UMG, Universal Music, or a Geffen effort. So maybe, or it could be it's better. I was disconnected for a while. There's really something wrong with this platform that I'm using. Am I still on? So so it could be anybody's idea, but the whole point is that they're doing their promotions differently now. they could still, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the release of the album, they will come up with a promo schedule. Who knows? But it still is very delayed because usually by this time you will have all of this. You will have the promo schedule, the promo schedule, the promo calendar. You will have your teaser. Usually they will have a pre-release song. We don't know anything yet. All they're doing is giving us the narrative, clues about the narrative, and then it's up to us to decode. So they're kind of still doing it the same way Wayang Yonhwa have done it, just in a different realm. Instead of an actual concrete narrative, they are wanting us to follow Arirang, which is their cultural identity. And they're doing it by reaching us in through the different platforms already in our phones. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Why did we unpop pop in my head? I'm so ready for this comeback. Um, Power Hour voting. All right. The other thing that's happening today is the maybe someone can check and let me know. So you're glitching because you ranted against Eskigar. um, I hope they know that I am being fair. By the way, as I've said, I probably am the only creator, at least the ones from the ones that I've seen, that actually said no. Big Hit should pay for this. They should, and I still stand by that. By that, by the way, they should pay for the Gwangwamun event. 100%, they should pay for that, and they should make a donation. That is something that I will always stand by with. Okay, the other things, what was I saying? Oh, the other thing that is happening today is the judgment of Min Hee Jin's um stock options. Today is the when the judgment is going to be handed down. Let's see. So they said it's going to be um 10 a.m. Korean time. Ah, it's 10:27. No news yet. Anybody on Twitter or maybe Facebook? No news yet because it's supposed to be 10. Nothing. I'm looking at I'm looking at some accounts of people that usually updates. Um, Nothing, huh? Okay. So you said something about Cordis. What did they have to do this time becoming MCs? Oh yeah, Cordis. Yeah. Okay, let me finish this one. How long have I been ranting? I guess 1 hour 27 minutes. Okay, nothing yet. Okay. Um, so they're kind of mirroring Arirang in the way that they are promoting their comeback. Meaning they are hinging on the cultural significance of Arirang. So instead of giving us more reasons to sort of talk about them, they're giving us more reasons to research about the concept. So the center is their Korean identity more than them, right? Because we don't know anything. We just know it's Arirang. We know that they're gonna come back. They're gonna do their comeback in Gwangwamun. So the tendency of the fandom is to research about Arirang, research about their history, research about Gwangwamun. What's in there? What about the palace or something? So it's nothing short of a genius that they're able to steer the interest of the fandom and not take the attention away from them while still immersing us in their own culture, right? I don't know how they found that balance. I guess y- I guess they're confident because they know how attached we are to them, but they managed to do it. Like, okay, give them certain things, like they're giving us certain things, and then they're counting on us to explore that thing that they're giving us. So we're exploring their artistry, we're exploring their cultural identity, their history, without losing interest on them. But they're able to highlight that part of their culture. It's nothing short of a genius. I don't know if anyone has actually ever done that. So the discussion is centered on what Arirang is, the origin, history, the cultural weight. Not BTS's Arirang, but Korea's Arirang. We're talking about Korea's Arirang. And I think it's because they know once they drop the album, it will be about BTS's Arirang. And they wanted to give us enough time to explore that part of the culture. Fire Butterfly is reminding me to post the. Thank you, Fire Butterfly. You're always reminding me. Okay. So, all right. So the discussion is centered on, even in their Gwangwamun concert, the discussion is centered on the significance of the landmark, not the significance of what BTS is about to do. Because all we have are like general concepts of what they're going to do. 260,000 people. This is what they're going to be doing. They're allegedly walking the King's Row. But so to us, because we don't know anything and they're not saying anything about it, the tendency is to like, okay, what's the King's Road? What's Gwanghwamun? What is Gyeongbokgung Palace? So BTS is counting on their established depth for people to hold on to instead of the spectacle, which is very, very resonant of what Arirang is. It's about depth, not the spectacle. It's not anything that is like modern pop or whatever. Now, to compare this event, I actually called some people. You know, I used to work for our former president of the the Philippines, and so I called some people to ask them like how does this operation actually work in this scale, right? Because there are very few public events that actually work this way, that requires will actually get this many people. And I wanted to talk with someone who's actually done it before, not just someone who's speculating on it, or at least or or knows about it but has not actually done something like this. So I called someone, and he said that it's very comparable to like the Times Square New Year's Eve celebration. It's comparable to that. Comparable to the papal visit, the Pope, the Catholic Pope. So when he goes to like most areas, there'd be like 300,000 people to surround him, especially if the country is a Catholic country. And then, or any kind of large political rallies in Seoul, or in other countries. So often there's about, for the New York Times, New Year's Eve festival celebration in Times Square, they deploy 7,000, more than 7,000 NYPD officers. So basically the entire force, they're there. Everybody, all the entire force, and sometimes they borrow as well. And then they also rent private securities if it is not enough. And then for PayPal visit, there's usually about 2,000 to 4,000 police officers. And these are just police officers. That this does not include the security of the Pope himself, you know. Okay, next is in a political rally in Seoul, it's usually between 1,000 to 3,000 people. So a 300,000 music event like that of what BTS is going to do, you're probably going to be using you're at the same operational scale. So this is how they usually compute that. There is one officer per 250 to 500,000 to 500 people in attendance. Now, why such a big range? Because it depends on who's actually performing. So if it is like several bands and it's like, just popular bands, but still just a band, you'll probably go one per 500 attendees. But if you are, if it is a high security or high risk band like that of BTS, you're probably going to go 200, 250. And then there's one officer, um, uh, oh, sorry. So that's for a ticketed event. But if it's a non-ticketed event, then you go lower. 100 for somebody like BTS, 100 officer per 100 people. But if it is a non-high risk act, then you can probably do with 1 to 250 people. Okay. So this is how you do the ratio. Um, for a higher risk, we're just going to go higher risk because BTS is high risk. Your ratio is about 1 to 200, but he said if he is on command, he'll probably go 1 is to 100, one officer for 100 people. So at 300,000, you need about 1,500 officers. That's very, very conservative estimate. Okay, now high alert, politically sensitive, which is similar to what BTS is. It's about 1 is to 100. So you are going to get 3,000 police officers in that. So when the Seoul Metropolitan Police said that they think 3,500 is that or 4,500 is not enough, he kind of went, yeah, it's not enough. Because, of course, like for him, this is nothing wrong is going to happen on my command. That's his concern, right? Not on my watch. So I will utilize as many police officers as I could, as many buddies as I could to ensure that nothing is going to happen because no one is going to get hurt on my command, not on my watch. So when I told him like, oh, they're still asking for more, 4,500, and they're still asking for more, he said, yeah, yeah, that's understandable. It's not like a ridiculous request because you want it to be guaranteed. Especially because when I told him like there has been like crazy fans who's tried to get close to the band and there's like sassangs and whatever. He said, yeah, yeah. Like 4,500, I'd ask for even he would ask for more. And he said that if they give me like, for example, if he gets 4,500, he asks for 6,000 and he was given 6,000, he will keep on pushing. He'll keep on pushing. He'll keep on asking for more and more and more and more until they say no. Because nothing enough is actually enough in that kind of a crowd. Okay. So for an open square like Gwangwamun, they'll probably going to be deploying about 3,000 police officers. Not necessarily everyone is going to be visible, but that's just for police officers. You still need riot control reserves, tactical response team, intelligence unit, cyber monitoring teams, traffic control police, counterterrorism, medic, blah, blah, blah. So you need somebody that will be watching the CCTVs. So realistically, total security deployment could be 4,000 to 5,000 people. So, holy crap, you can pop out YouTube chat when using a monitor. I don't know about the phone. So, so just to make it clear, their demand to ask for more, it's natural. He said it's very, very normal. That had he been the commanding officer of this operation, he will keep on asking for more and more and more and more and more until he is turned down. Crowd So the crowd density math in terms of there's a way that they actually measure how many people, how they can count the number of people in an event. So 2 to 3 people per square meter, that's how many people you will deploy per square meter. That's comfortable. 2 to 3 police officers will be deployed per square meter. Four per square meter if it is tightly packed, and then 5 per square meter if it is dangerous. Okay. Okay. So 300,000 people at 3 per square meters, then 100,000 square meters is what it would take to house to accommodate 300,000 people. People don't know how to stand walk in a crowd. There's science to it, so people don't get killed from pressure. So that's how they kind of know. So now they need to cover 100,000 square meters. If there are 300,000 people attending, they need to cover 100,000 square meters. So which is about more than 1 million square feet. So that's how they said. He said that's how he measured. And when I was talking to him, it was like automatic to him. It was like, the guy's like, oh, it's about 100,000 square meters. So the seated area is just 15,000, but you have a lot of people that will be standing around, including me if I don't get a ticket. Okay. So he even discussed to me like the command structure. You have your supervising officer, then you have your medical team, you have your evacuation lead, you have your counterterrorism person in charge per square meter. You have one medic per 1,000 to 2,000 attendees. And he said, again, he will ask for more, but that is the standard for 300,000 people. That means that you have 300 people medical personnel on site on the day of the event. And then, of course, you need to also coordinate with hospitals near the area just in case something happens. You need a plan where you're going to be taking people. And that is included in how they plan. It's not like, oh, something happens. Let's call the hospitals and see what's. That's not how it happens. You have to work with with all of this, like the nearest hospitals, and make sure that they also have enough personnel on standby just in case something happens. So then you have to pay those people too. Okay. So that part, I have to admit, I did not think of. It was like, of course, you have your ambulance, you have your mini hospital in the ambulance, but then you still need a response. You need the hospitals to be alerted. They need to be ready just in case anything happens. And then you have a separate hospital where you will bring the VIP. So just in case any VIP actually gets hurt. And when I say VIP, I'm talking about the actual band that's performing. Okay. So in the if you have counterterrorism and intelligence, you have plainclothes officers, you have snipers on watch, you have you have drones, you also have vehicle mitigation barriers, you have intelligence pre-screening, you have online threat monitoring. All of this, if you are the commanding officers, you're gonna have to think about that. So cost implication 5 to 15 million depending on the duration and the threat level. So that's how much BTS and Big Hit will have to pay the government in order to pull this off. 5 to 15 million, and that is being shouldered by Netflix. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. They need first aid stations, porta potties too. I read only 14,000 are being allowed in the square where they are performing. Yeah, but you can't control the crowd. People are going to stand up to watch. So they're going to be blocking off streets. And that's another thing. You have police officers that will redirect traffic. The subway station will be running, I think, 24 hours on the day off and on the day before, because you want to make sure that people will be able to get back to their hotels and whatever. Um, so yeah, it's going to be like they need first aid stations. Oh my God, why do the free concert if it's going to cost this much? Because they want this is an opportunity for them to broadcast to the whole world and reaffirm their identity and reestablish who they are, not just as artists, primarily as artists, but also their identity as their identities as Koreans. This is just as much about their cultural identity as it is about their artistry. Okay. Special forces, my boys. I hate porta potties. They are never wide enough. Even when I was tiny, they are so gross, always running out of paper, never get cycled out when full. Just ick. Easy money, worth the symbolisms and promo benefits. Some people just wear diapers. Like in if you do the those people in front on the Times, New York Times Square during the celebration in during the New Year, many of them or all of them actually wear diapers. Thank you for the passion that you bring to your lives. Thank you for listening. This was overwhelming. It is. Okay, I did not mean for that to happen. um, can control my bladder. BTS loves armies. How do they calculate the number of attendees? Hotel bookings, airline tickets, passport updates. That's one. So yes, that gets reported. So as soon as as soon as the announcement was made, a lot of the hotels already got booked, flights already got booked, and so they get reports from that. And then the other thing is historical. So in the 10th anniversary of BTS, there were 400,000 people who actually came in Seoul to celebrate, and they said that more than half actually came from foreign countries. So they kind of already have a historical marker, a way to measure all of those things. And that's why they pick Netflix, because Netflix will actually help. So according to some word on the street, Netflix will be shouldering 100% of the cost of the actual production. So all of this, if it goes 15 million, going to be shouldered by Netflix. Now, do remember that before BTS actually starts getting residuals, Netflix has to make their money back. And then of course they paid BTS for this. They did not get this for free. So um fire butterfly, constant Air Force fighter. Okay. It's exciting, very, very exciting. Being a student at Waterloo Station Park Hour feels like swimming through thousands of books, buddies, all moving at once. I'd like to think armies attending will be vigilant. It's good. I refuse to wear a diaper. They admit it. Like many, usually yearly, when they interview people in the Times Square New Year's celebration, they would I usually ask like, "How's the bathroom situations here?" And they're like, "Well, we're wearing diapers because once you get your position, you don't want to give it back. You don't want to give it up because usually." I'm assuming that a lot of armies will actually be camping out 2 days before. And the thing about these people is that, especially when they have company, they can actually alternate. So, like, okay, I'll do the first 5 hours and then I'll come in and replace you. That's how they do it. So, that's why it's very important for people to actually have people with them to go so that you can alternate when you start queuing up. So, I think people are going to start queuing up very, very early. Don't zip lock bags come handy. Times Square has no porta potties. Yeah, that's why they just wear diapers. I will do what I need to do. Sorry, peeing on so. I bet you there will be a lot of people who wear diapers now. The Fairlane put out that idea. I did not put that out. That I didn't put out that idea. They just do. You're not allowed to come back to your original position if you leave. That's why they have an alternate, right? So it once they queue up, they will have someone that they will alternate with so that one can leave and then the other can replace the other person. So you're not really leaving, you're taking someone else's place, like a friend or whatever. Porta potty is my friend. This is what you have to do. You have to wear the diapers. You can't move out of your spot because you can't get back in. Don't walk around either a poopy butt. Okay, I can see that you're all very entertained with the diaper idea, but that's just how they do it. They do it. I didn't make that up. Diaper, no, it's called dignity and self-respect. I've had Philippine ladies admit about the depends at a sugar concert. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Feverishly googling adult diapers like my dignity. Just ran out the door. It's not my idea. People do it. How did we end up talking about poops and diapers? NYC is adding bathrooms for public use all over the city, in case you didn't know. First row might be very smelly. Depends. Depends to the rescue. And they come in purple color. It is good enough for the US president. Last open concert, I was just trying to keep from having drinks poured over me. BTS is rubbing off on us with a random conversation. Okay, do you have questions before I move on? I don't know if you have enough time. 13 minutes. No news yet? Wow. Song Minho reportedly skipped 102 days of military service without leave. Prosecution points to potential 3-year prison sentence under Military Service Act. The first trial on the case is scheduled April 12. Yeah, no news about Min's case, about the stock options. All right, so I guess I will try to finish as much as I can. Doll Baby said, not yet. I'm keeping an eye out. Yes, talk about charities. No news. What's the news with Cordis and Les Seraphim? The news about Cordis and Les Seraphim. So Cordis is going to make a comeback this April, a month after BTS's comeback. And then I think TXT is also going to make a comeback. So all BTS groups, sorry, all BTS group, all big hit groups are going to be making a comeback. Also, which is kind of funny because if you would notice, their isn't a lot of groups. There's not a lot of groups that will be making a comeback in March. Not specifically, not right around the time that they will be making their comeback, which kind of make gives a very very strong message. So, but they are Cordis is actually going to make a comeback on April. So this is an like a rumor around the industry about Cordis. So so it's a rumor. Just want to make it clear. So I have absolutely no proof. That's how a rumor works. Is that when you have no proof. Otherwise, it becomes an accusation. Okay, so allegedly, they're going to have like some sort of a tour before the end of the year. So they might release two more albums. So one album coming this May, and then they're going to release another album, and then they're going to start their tour at the end of the year. And North America is going to be a part of it. Now, there are some discussions about them because usually you probably know this already. When they do a tour, the very first tour is small scale, usually a theater. That's how Big Hit does their that's usually how Big Hit does the incubation of their teams, right? They will, or not just Big Hit, but Hype. They will do theaters first. They might do like bigger venues in Asia, but definitely in North Korea, usually they do theaters. And so I kind of was expecting the same, but allegedly the target for Cordis is actually an arena for their first tour. That's why they're trying to get them a lot of gigs, a lot of projects in North America to build up that fan base. So let's see what's going to happen. So they only have right now. The problem is that they don't have enough songs. So they will probably do one album. They will probably do two more albums to have enough songs to start a tour by the end of the year. Cordis has to strike while the iron is hot. In X, the verdict is taking a long time. The verdict is taking a long time. According to a Min Hee-jin fan, Kakao Talk logs are being accepted as evidence and the messages are being read aloud. Ah, okay. Rookie groups are having tour early nowadays because his personal tax is not corporate. They were meant to be private, and given that he is famous, any damages he gets out of this person. Okay. An MHJ fan said the verdict is taking a long time. Kakao Talk logs are being accepted as evidence and being read aloud right now. I said North Korea, South Korea. I did not mean North Korea. So, so that's a rumor. So they have one more major project. So as you know, they already have an OST for Goat, the animation movie um that was just released, and their album, the song was actually utilized in the actual movie, not just as a part of a soundtrack that's played at the end of the movie. It's actually a part of the movie. So I actually have a video that will be released tomorrow on that, like how much they probably earned or whatever. So they have that. And then they're going to be performing. I don't know if she's here. So one of you actually invited me to watch their performance in LA Convention Center. This is going to be the first time I'm going to be seeing them perform live. So I'm looking forward to that. So they have one more major project in the US after that. And these are all rumors. I just want to emphasize. And then release the album, and then one more album, and then do a tour. And they have credits. Yes, they wrote the song. Congratulations to Cordis. I can't believe MHD fans has when she's not the idols. It helps that Army supported them early, and now we support big hit groups because of BTS, and they are good in their own right. I also think they're developing their own fan base. They have their music isn't always palatable to everybody, so they definitely are developing their own fan base now, and a lot of the and I think part of the reason they're kind of doing a lot of activities while BTS is busy is also partly to generate their own fandom, right? Because when we're busy with BTS, we're just busy with BTS. Like we don't pay attention to anybody else. That's a perfect time for them to really establish their growth without using BTS as a clutch. I'm not saying that they are using it as a clutch, but I mean the public thinks that they are using it as a clutch. So with BTS busy and them being active and then generating their own fandom, it'll be good for them reputation wise. I just wish that the other big hit group fan bases didn't always end up being antagonistic against Army. That will always happen, and every fandom has their toxic group. Even armies, we have a toxic pocket, I guess. There's a segment that's always toxic. So I don't think that's something that you can avoid. Um, but they do it, we do it too, meaning armies. There are some armies that are also toxic. So I guess that's just part of it. But I always say that the best thing to do is look into the group. So focus on the group. Like, are they respectful of BTS? And Cordis is. They acknowledge that whatever it is that they enjoy, it's all because of Big Hit. It's all because of BTS. Because BTS has established a name and a reputation, so it allows them to work with different producers, for example. It's natural. They have their own fan base. Unfortunately, some of their yeah, perfectly said. Agree. Okay, so 5 minutes. I don't want to. Well, I guess I can do this. So if ever you're looking for a bag, for a purse to fit your army bomb, a lot of Japanese armies are talking about this on X and on Facebook. So this purse actually fits the army bomb perfectly, and it's a Japanese brand. So check it out. If you want to buy a purse that would fit your army bomb, your light stick. And then the other thing is JK is now the new brand ambassador of Ublo. So I checked the pronunciation. They said that in French, you're not supposed to pronounce the H and the T. So Ublo. Okay, so he's now the new brand ambassador of Ublo. And the funny thing is that armies is aren't you can you have absolutely no idea how the level of investigative journalism this is, because many of the fans, many of armies actually went out to search for, I guess, a building where they will be doing an event today or maybe tomorrow. They found it and watched what's going to happen, and they saw this billboard being installed. So we already know this, but not like we didn't know. I mean, from the teaser itself, you can say it's already JK. I mean, there's like I I don't think I'm very good at spotting them from afar or when it's like just silhouette or whatever. I don't think I'm very good at that. But I saw the teaser and I was like, that's JK. That's like JK, 100%. Absolutely JK. So so yeah, so he's now the brand ambassador, and there is an event, I believe, today, or I think tomorrow. I think today is when the grand reveal is going to be happening. But congratulations to JK. So the um the CEO of Ublo actually had an event uh yesterday, and he said that we have a surprise today. So it is JK. What hotel were you talking about staying? Oh, okay. So I went on a hunt, right? So of course, I wanted to make sure that it is cheap and whatever. And there was absolutely no cheap places around that area anymore. So if you want something cheap, you're gonna have to travel. You're gonna have to drive going there. I'm not drive, but commute going there. But I did lock out. I think I was just like for the last 5 days, I've just been relentlessly going back to each hotel, hoping that they will free up or something. And then I emailed one hotel. It's New Seoul Hotel. And then I just begged. And they were like, no, we're not. We don't have anything anymore. And I said, hotels usually have like 30% of their rooms free because they need rooms to move other guests just in case something happens. So I know for a fact that when they say they're full, they're actually not full. They don't want. So I just begged. I really begged hard, and they gave me one room, which probably will suck and it's probably the worst room in the hotel. I do not care. But it's still very expensive. It's like 225 a day. And so the strategy now is for me to stay only in that hotel in the days that the event is going to happen. So the concert is 20th, sorry, 21st. So I'm going to be in the hotel 20, 21, and 22. and then I'm going to transfer to a cheaper hotel far away from there on other days that I will be staying in Seoul. But that's the game plan. And then there is also like a dorm type, like cubbies in Myeongdong, which is very close to where the event is. If you walk, it's going to about 20 minutes, but I guess that's what you have to do on the event itself because there'll be no buses to take you there. So you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to walk. But this cubby, so what you do, it's like a guest house. Um, but instead of like usually in a guest house, it's like one room and you have like four double beds, right? Or double decks. And then you just see each other. But here they give you cubbies. Like your bed is fully covered. So you go inside that cubby and then you sleep. And then you just have like a small um locker right in front of your bed. And then you share the bathroom, but it's segregated female and male. Capsule hotels is what they call it. There you go. Capsule hotel. It's Myeongdong Capsule, I think is the name. So, and it is very cheap. It's like 70, well, cheaper. Okay, I correct myself. It's cheaper than everything else, but it's still very expensive. So for the day itself, it's like 105. So it's actually, when you look at the rate, it's like 45, but then with all the taxes and whatever, it goes up to about 100, 105 per day. But the goal is that if you just need a place to stay, to go to, to shower, go to the bathroom or whatever, that's an okay place for you to go. So, um, it's a capsule hotel. Yeah, no, yes, something like a hostel because you are sharing the bathroom with everybody else. Like, so there is usually 20 people in one room. And then one room has 20 capsules. And then each capsule is one bed for you. So, and then all of you, those 20 people, will share several bathrooms and toilets. So that's the idea. So just search it. I think it is named Myeongdong Capsule Capsule Myeongdong, something like that. But it's cheaper. It's relatively closer to the area. Had I not been able to get this hotel that I booked in, I would have gone for that because everything else, like the only one with a free room right now is President's Hotel, but it's like $750 per night. Like, why? I would just commute. I was just gonna walk. Why would I? No. So, um, 750 dollars, and then 2 nights is like 1,600. I don't know, whatever. I That's just no way. Just no way. What about outside Seoul and surrounding areas? There's still some that. So the closer you get to the area, the more expensive it becomes. In my desperation, I actually called Four Seasons to see if they will accommodate me because, as I've said, I know for a fact that they always have 30% of their room vacant, and they do that just in case they want to transfer certain people. So I was like just begging, and this is the only hotel that accommodated my begging. Can you use a bathhouse as a place to stay? Um, yeah, the spa, yeah, you can. So what I have done this before. My hotel isn't ready until 3, right? So what I did was drop off my bag, my luggages in the hotel because you can keep it there. So I dropped it off. I arrived early morning. I didn't want to pay for one entire day and not have to use it one entire day because I arrived early morning. I dropped it off in the hotel and then went to a spa and spent my day until my room was ready. So Alex 22, I'm glad that you found something. Thank you so much. Find a hotel outside closer to the train station. Yeah, so that's what a lot of people are actually doing now because it's just way too expensive. Imagine paying $750,000 for a night. Like what? Why? No way. No way. I would have gone for that capsule hotel if I didn't get this hotel. So thank God I am shameless when it comes to begging for hotels. I really begged. I should have recorded myself. That probably would have gone viral. Um, think of it as concert tickets. Oh my god, 750. I mean, if if it's for BTS, sure, but but yeah. So I managed to get a room. I think it's going to be the worst room. It's like I'm not going to stay there for the entire day. I'm just going to be there for to sleep right after the concert and to sleep before the concert. So that's over $100,000 in my country. Monthly, we make 50 to 70,000 in a normal 9 to 5 job. The things that we do for BTS. Say that okay. So isn't SK government cracking down on the scalpers increased prices? They said that they are, but the new regulations will apply this June. I need to teach you in begging. Okay, I will do a class. um New Seoul Hotel is walking distance to all and besides Starbucks. I wanted to get into I wanted to this is the next close this is the closest next to Four Seasons. I wanted to get Four Seasons, but this is the next closest New Seoul Hotel. So I just really begged. I was like, just give me the worst. Give me the one right in front of the elevator. I don't care. Just Capsule Hotel. There's one. There are still available in the capsule. Myeongdong Capsule Hotel, I think is the name. Okay. All right. We are overtime. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for staying with me. I have a lot I did not cover because I kept on ranting. But thank you so much, everybody. Do you have any more questions? Oh, so for those that are still interested in the tickets, you can stay, and then for us, the rest you can go. Thank you so much for being with me today. So let me do this. So we have available tickets, not a lot, and most of the SoFi ones have been snagged. Most of it, not all of it. I'm sorry. So here. Bye, bye, bye. Okay, so you're interested in the tickets. Okay, I will show the image. So these are just the most of the regular tickets that we have. We still have some suites, not a lot, but we still have some suites. So I just hid the names of the owners of the tickets. Oh yeah, please like the video. So we have Arlington, Baltimore, Chicago, Foxborough. We have a lot of Las Vegas. As you can see, we have some suites on the 28th, 23rd. We have a suite on the 27th, a lodge to be more specific. And then we have more 28 regular tickets, Madrid, Munich, and SoFi. So wait a minute. I think we have, yeah. So let me know. So these are the ones that we have. This woman will get some money after all. Who's the woman? I wish I could go. Oh, is the decision done? And the big night. No, I don't have the tickets yet for the 28th. Is the decision done? Who has tickets for Toronto? Toronto, I think we don't have Toronto. Arlington, I'd like. Judge, there is no basis for the claim that she tried to take New Jeans out. No verdict yet. Wow. Oh, no verdict yet. Do you have any news on the tickets on the 28th? No London seats or suites? No. No London. We used to have one. It actually goes fast because we used to have a lot of London. We used to have a lot of Europe. It's all gone now. So I guess people are really buying it. And also SoFi. We used to have a lot of SoFi. It's all gone now. Um, so just want to make sure that you know that if they did not show that they are willing to show that the purchase price, they most likely are putting more. They're like selling it for a gain. You would like September 1, SoFi. Who said that? Michelle Santiago, September 1, SoFi. Okay. Can you message me? Are you in Discord? I can give you the name of the person that's selling this. Please share the Discord for the tickets. Invite, copy. Here, I've tried to contact the Chicago person, but I haven't heard back. The Chicago person. The August 27 Chicago ticket. What's your email, please? And how do we message you? You can join Discord or you can email me at this email address. Just remove the spaces. Okay. So I just shaded the names of the people white because I did not ask for permission to publish their names. But after but I will actually now put a color on it. So if you go there, if you go to Discord, you can go to the wait list, I think. Marketplace. Ticket reselling channel, you will see this pinned. This list is pinned, and you will see the name of the person who owns it. You can just DM that person. If you're confused, you can ask somebody in the town hall to help, and someone's probably going to help you. Okay. All right. Okay. So those are the ones that we have. We also have some people looking for tickets. We have a lot of people looking for tickets. So let me know if you're interested in any of that. For Vegas, we have suites. Arlington, we have a suite. And then we have a lot of 100 level tickets for Vegas, or we have some 100 level tickets for Vegas. We have 129, 118, 127. So these are good tickets. The C level ticket is you're right in the center. So and then for there's a suite. We have for Baltimore we had 100. We have a lot of 100 level tickets. 148, 128, 107. They have Toronto. We don't have any for now. Sometimes they it gets replenished. So just keep on. I would suggest go to Discord because it does get updated every now and then. So almost daily, tickets get taken out, tickets get added. A lot of people buy, sell stuff. So um, as of February 12, the Seoul Central District Court issued its ruling on the major shareholder and former Adore CEO Min Hee-jin with the court favoring HYBE. You join Discord. Okay. But that's AI. All right. Well, let's see. I'll do one more. Usually people are fast on X. So faster than Facebook. So usually that's where nothing on X yet. So I wouldn't. Well, AI. All right. So thank you so much. Is still waiting for some more tickets for Toronto. Other ticket sellers have them, but at high prices. Seda is from Toronto. So go. I would just join the Discord and ask people if you're kind of new to Discord and kind of confused how to use it. Ask people in the town hall section. Someone will help. They're very very helpful there. They'll connect you to people. They'll teach you how to DM people. They'll point you to this sheet and whatever. So, okay. Thank you, everybody. Bye.